Well, this preliminary report from the NTSB is only 8 paragraphs long, and it does not rule on a cause of the crash. But local experts say it does provide important clues and insights 8 days after the tragedy. It could take at least a year before investigators figure out why a plane crashed into an Akron apartment building, killing all 9 people on board. But after reading the report released today by the NTSB, pilot Tim Lanigan tells me it appears investigators are leaning in one direction.
From what I can tell, the aircraft was intact, but they're not thinking a gross mechanical error. So that leads me down the path of thinking it was pilot error.
According to the report, the pilot of a Piper who had landed safely radioed to the pilot of the ill-fated jet and said, quote, "We broke out right at minimums," meaning the Piper pilot could see the runway even though weather conditions were not ideal. The pilot of the jet responded, "Thanks for the update."
So we know that the weather, at least a few minutes prior, was good enough to see the airport and land.
Based on the report, Lanigan says the pilot was getting radar guidance on an instrument approach to Akron Fulton Airport because of the low cloud cover. But Bob Comer, a forensic accident investigator, still believes weather could have played a role in the deadly crash.
But he was making this turn way up on this hill, and maybe because of the weather, he couldn't judge his height, and he was too low. And he comes around here and he makes that turn and he loses power.
Lanigan tells me surveillance video showing the left wing down before the crash is crucial to the investigation. And so is what was recovered at the site: the engines, the primary flight controls, landing gear, and cockpit voice recorder. When you look at the apartment up close, you really get a sense of how lucky it was that none of the 4 residents who lived here were home when the plane went down. The wreckage is now being analyzed at an NTSB lab. There is no word from the government tonight on when they could make a ruling on the cause of the deadly crash. Live in Akron tonight, Bob Jones, News Channel 5.